All right, did you see that young man moments ago? If he looks familiar, he should. That's Tony Mendocino and mother Dominic Mendocino, maiden name Martin, teaches at Moon School District. That's their son, who is a whale of a football player for Central Valley and Mark Lyons. Longtime friend of Tony Mendocino, in his wedding as he was in his, from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, where I spent today doing all sorts of great stuff like making videos. But I also am a big fan and much love for Tony's very first bride, Lisa Mendocino, who is a lifelong friend of mine. But this young man is a whale of a football player.
I'm not allowed to comment.
You know, I set it up perfectly, and he shut me down.
What I'm going to say is,
yes,
I'm going to talk about one of my close friends' son.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's good.
And I think
first team, both sides of the ball.
If a college coach is listening to this, they need to take a look at him because he's one of the best juniors in the area.
And by the way,
and if the NCAA comes in,
right,
it'll be the greatest publicity you and I can get doing this.
The only time I'm allowed to mention this word, my track record, wedding soup, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. They told me they're going through vats of it today, and it's delicious. Let me take a quick.
Good. You actually, that's good.
That is good. I need soup, lots of soup.
Right.
Work on the waistline, I get it. Now listen, he knew me when I was, but who cares? Because you know what, at this age, soon to be 61, munch a munch, you gotta eat.
Yeah,
you got a little fries today.
I did, okay.
I was shocked, just a couple.
That was it.
All right, now, let's get on to the business of the NFL. Wild card weekend coming up. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I want to talk about Steelers. Landry Jones, 23-27, 239 yards, a touchdown. Big Ben today would not comment about the possibility of being done at the end of this year. All I know is this, Steeler Nation. If he goes, if Tony Mendocino has some eligibility left, meaning his dad, we make the call. Other than that, they're in trouble. This guy I like, but I don't see him as the heir apparent.
No, I mean, you're looking at a Hall of Famer. You're looking at the end of a career.
I'm looking at some good wedding soup right now. Go ahead.
You're comparing it with a guy that just won a game and played pretty well against a really bad team.
Go ahead.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to bring somebody in, and Ben's not leaving.
But how about Juju Smith-Schuster? 96 yards.
And I got a chance to see it. Ready for this? Maybe the most stupid decision I've made in a while.
Get in close on this, young Tony.
In person.
Okay.
I saw it in person. My cousin Dave Albany's got tickets. He said, "Would you like to go?" I really didn't want to go, but I didn't want to disappoint him. Rob.
Hey, Dave Albany, I'm from New Brighton too. You never call me.
The tickets were on the 50-yard line in the last row. Like when I turned around, I could see PNC Field.
That's okay.
It was the coldest on record seriously, the coldest game at Heinz Field.
Isn't it amazing venue though? When something like that happens, how that crowd just erupts and you can feel it in your chest. It's like a jet engine. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, I was looking at the clock the whole time. Couldn't wait to go home.
All right, listen. Now, they, of course, will wait until next week.
Yeah.
But you have got a lot of things happening in the league. Marvin Lewis, which I'm glad, gets a 2-year extension.
This time last week,
I know.
He was out of a job.
Good for him. Jim Fox is gone. Chuck Pagano gone. Josh McDaniels' name being thrown in there, possibility of replacing him in Indianapolis. Jim Caldwell is out. Jack Del Rio out. John Gruden getting closer and closer to going back to coaching. Giants need a coach. Bruce Arians retires. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the ever-changing and spinning and revolving wheel of the NFL head coaching will continue for the next couple of weeks, right through the Super Bowl in Minnesota, which Justin Timberlake, by the way, is doing the halftime show.
Do we care about that?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I like JT. All right, listen. Capers is out in Green Bay as defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Capers is out. Yeah, he's out. Capers is out. I don't like the idea that Munchak's out. People were starting to ask about it.
By the way,
that guy's the real deal.
The new album dropping is "Man Out of the Woods." Justin Timberlake, February 2nd.
If you want a real album, look at Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore East from back in the 70s.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Midnight Rambler. Tennessee at Arrowhead. Rider, like I said, Rider. Tennessee Rider, whatever.
Done.
Tennessee at Arrowhead versus the Chiefs, 4:35 Saturday, ESPN. Marcus Mariota.
He has no chance.
Okay, none. Alex Smith, 26 touchdown on the year. You don't think that Marcus Mariota, who's thrown 13 and can run the football, has any chance to get the Titans to the next level?
No, the Chiefs are going to be home, and we want the Chiefs going to Foxborough.
All right, they have Kareem Hunt, too, 1,327 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. Late game, 8:15. How about them LA Rams, LA Coliseum? They'll be hosting Atlanta on NBC. Jared Goff, 28 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, done everything right this year. 1,305 yards, 13 touchdowns. What do you like in that game?
Falcons.
All right, Matt. Don't forget though, Matt Ryan, 4,095 yards, 20 touchdowns, and he's got Julio Jones, who only has 3 touchdowns on the year, but comes up big. But how about the Buffalo Bills?
Oh.
17 years it has been since they made it into the NFL postseason. They'll be at Everbank Field taking on Jacksonville. 105 CBS KDK TV2. Tyrod Taylor and LaShawn Shady McCoy wondering about the bum ankle if he'll go. But Blake Bortles, everyone was saying they need another quarterback. I think they have found their quarterback. 21 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette, 1,040 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns. What do you like?
Who do I like?
Yeah,
I like Buffalo, but Jacksonville's going to win. It depends on if Shady plays or not. By the way, last week I did not pick Penn State only because I thought they were going to sit Barkley. Go ahead, keep going.
Carolina at the Superdome, taking on New Orleans at 4:40 on Fox. Cam Newton, 3,302 yards, 22 touchdowns. He's rushed for 750 yards, 6 touchdowns. But Drew Brees proving once again he is a one-man band in the city of New Orleans. 4,334 yards, 23 touchdowns. Mark Ingram, 1,124 yards rushing out of Penn State, 12 touchdowns. And Michael Thomas, 1,245 yards, 5 touchdowns. Who do you like, Carolina at the Superdome against New Orleans?
It's going to be the Saints.
All right, young Anthony, how much time on that clock? What's it say?
6 minutes and 25 seconds.
All right, we're good. NFL Hall of Fame, Ray Lewis, 17 years in the league out of the University of Miami.
Check that, he's in.
All right, let me just kind of go through my list. I did the homework. At least let me make a presentation. Brian Urlacher, linebacker, Chicago Bears, who got bowled over in the snow by, remember Jerome Bettis?
Jerome Bettis.
13 years in the league out of New Mexico State. Edwin James, always one of my favorite.
Oh, yes.
Very amazing and elusive runner with a whole lot of very deceptive speed. Indianapolis Colts, Arizona Cardinals. Randy Moss, maybe the greatest wide receiver ever to play the game.
Oh, that's got to happen.
Out of Marshall. Notre Dame, they missed out on that chance to have him. Minnesota Vikings wide receiver had his best years there. Terrell Owens.
Go to the next one.
Terrell Owens should be in the league. He should be in the Hall of Fame in the same league with the rest of these guys we just mentioned. Wide receiver, 49ers, Cowboys, and Eagles. Great player. Isaac Bruce, part of the greatest show on turf, St. Louis Rams. John Lynch, a rough and tough safety. Best years, Tampa Bay and also Denver. Brian Dawkins, defensive back, Eagles. Ty Law, defensive back, New England. Al Equipper.
I think Ty Law gets in. I think Dawkins gets in before Lynch does.
Everson Walls, defensive back, Cowboys and Giants.
That's a throwback. I wish. I really do. It's not going to happen.
Prototype offensive lineman, Tony Vaselli, Jacksonville should go, as was Joe Jacoby, tackle guard, Washington, Steve Hutchinson, guard for the Seahawks, Vikings, and Titans. And I'm going to let you talk about this guy. When you think of a pulling guard, even Vince Lombardi would have said, I want this guy, Alan Faneca, guard, Pittsburgh Jets and Cardinals out of LSU. Go ahead.
I wish he had a chance, but you got 4 or 5 offensive linemen right there. They're going to split all the votes, and you'll have the 2 prototypes go. I really think Vaselli gets in. I'd like to see Jacoby get in. It is what it is. You got 5 linemen.
Kevin Mawai, also center,
good.
guard, Seahawks, Jets, and Titans. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to do college because we have a little time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Did you notice who's playing for the national championship?
Yes, Nick Saban.
Yes, he is. But who made the call last week? All right, go ahead.
All right, college football championship game Monday, January 8th, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Alabama. Nick Saban, of course, Jalen Hurts, 2,060 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, equal threat running the football. Damian Harris, 983 yards, 11 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley, 983 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns. Big Mac Wilson, linebacker, 4 interceptions. Now, Georgia, Kirby Paul Smart. Now, that's a name that down south they just love to say. That's our coach, Kirby Paul Smart. Jake Fromm, 2,383 yards, passing, 23 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, don't get bored, 1,320 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns. And Dominic Sanders, a safety with 4 interceptions. It's the Dogs, who are an early 4-point dog, to Alabama coming up Monday, January 8th, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Georgia.
I love this matchup because you've got the mentor and you've got the pupil. And for us older guys, I'd like to see Saban continue to teach them a lesson.
All right.
Although,
yes,
I would like to see Georgia in the upset.
All right, now we're going to take a break because I want to say a whole segment for this guy. We're going to do a throwback NFL player who I think should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Stay with us. We're at the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. Good evening.